My typical day in an underground school is almost no different from a regular day at school above ground. But every time we enter this shelter, we cannot leave until the end of classes. Above us, constant shelling and air raid sirens. Here, feel almost constant discomfort due to the confined space.
During lessons, we had a simple routine. When the siren started, we gathered, moved to the shelter, and the class continued.
The most unusual thing about this underground school was the impossibility of going outside and the absence of windows. We couldn't see sunlight, we couldn't breathe fresh air.
I like sitting by the window, watching the birds in the trees. When that wasn't possible, it was difficult, not only mentally, but physically. When the full-scale invasion began, the school was closed for some time. We didn't attend classes. My family discussed leaving the country, but I insisted we stay in Ukraine. Because for me, it was very important to be on my own land, in my own home.
My hometown Zaporizhzhia I would probably describe in 5 words: historic, record-breaking, industrial, progressive, and, of course, unbreakable.
What I like about Zaporizhzhia is its location. You can go down to the river and see a beautiful sunset on the waterside. Even though there is danger, rockets or explosives in the water, it still remains beautiful. There were many adventures on the way to school when the Dnieper's dam was closed after rocket strikes. We had to detour across 2 bridges and Khortytsa Island. The road, instead of 40 minutes, took an hour and a half.
Massive air raids, rocket attacks, Shahed drones. It is much easier to endure all of this together with friends.
Among the unique problems of Ukrainian teenagers, of course, there is war. And the need to learn to live with the fact that at any moment you might lose a part of your life.
War is our biggest problem. It affects us psychologically, it affects us mentally, but in the end, we remain the same teenagers that are all over the world.
I find strength and inspiration in art, nature, beauty, and people around me. It is important for me to see my loved ones smile.
I love strategy games like Dota, where I can communicate with my team. Because when I play alone, it feels a bit lonely. I try to choose games where I can talk to people and think about strategies.
I really love drawing and I love dogs.
During the war, I found a new hobby. I started playing and listening to more music. This hobby really helps me escape everything happening here in Ukraine. It feels like I enter another world, forgetting, at least for a while, about what's going on around me.
Scientific research is also a way to tell the world about what is happening in our country and about the consequences of the war, not only for people, but for nature. My research was dedicated to Хортиця Island. We took soil samples, examined rocket impact sites, compared them with untouched areas, and tried to determine whether there was a contamination, chemical, physical, or mechanical.
Communication is an essential part of my life. Everything I do is built on it. Together with friends, I started holding lectures on mental health and psychological awareness. We worked with children in groups, uniting them, and in just 3 months, we saw how kids began talking to each other, putting their phones aside just to meet classmates and teachers.
When I presented my research at international conference, most of the reactions were mainly interested. People had never seen anything like this. They had only read about the war in textbooks about World War II or seen it on TV. Like all of us, I'm afraid my loved ones might die. I don't worry as much about myself, but about them, because without them, it would be very hard to live.
Our family has many animals. We worry about them a lot, because during sirens and explosions, they also suffer. Sometimes, animals even had heart attacks from fear. During the war, so many animals have died. In such a hard time, I still chose to stay here. To get my professional education here and to work for the reconstruction of my country after this war.
I enrolled at the Kyiv National University of Construction and Architecture.
I believe that Ukraine, as it has been for hundreds of years, remains the gateway of Europe, keeping it safe. We hold on so that Europe does not fall, so that the whole world does not fall.
I dream of victory.
Dreaming is not enough. We must act. And I personally am ready to promise. I will act for the sake of youth, for their stable psychological well-being.
My future profession will be connected to rebuilding the country. I see meaning in bringing benefit to people and Ukraine.
And only by acting together can we reach the Ukraine of our dreams.